must read all about it. The best burgers in town from all around. People from around the world come and get it. The line goes around like a merry-go-round. But, yes, you gotta eat. Yes, eat. Very nicely. And toast. Toast. You got to cook. You know, doing good now. Come on, and cut. Cut. Very nice. You gotta eat. Eat. Toast. Yes. Toast. Very nice. And now cook. Yes, right. Burgers, the fries, a shake or a friend. If you're hungry, simply line up at the end. Come on, people, gather round.
That never gets old. It's Parappa the Rapper 2, Stage 1, which is toasty buns. My buns are very toasty. Yes. Did you ever play Parappa the Rapper 2?
Not the sequel, only the first one.
Yes, the first one. Good
First
times.
one's an absolute classic.
Of course. Second one, I would have to say, had better music.
Really? I never played the second one.
Oh, you should. PlayStation 2. The good shit.
Why isn't there never a third one?
That is actually an extremely good point. I have no idea.
They should bring it back. I know there was a Parappa the Rapper on the PSP, but...
It was basically the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a remake.
Yeah. That's right. Well, welcome everyone to episode 15, finally. We've just been extremely busy. Sony decides to announce the new system. I believe it was like the day after we were going to do a show, so we decided to delay it. So this entire episode is going to be all about the PlayStation 4. We're going to discuss what we have to discuss about it. And yeah, you're going to hear our opinions on the matter. This is something that ever since the announcement, I've been bombarded with personal messages on YouTube. People saying, you got to make a video. Explain to us what you think about it. Do you think it's shit? Do you think it's good? Are you going to buy one? There's tons and tons of questions. Unfortunately, I can't answer many of them until at least E3.
Yeah.
Because, Sony was extremely vague about what they were going to show off, and they're definitely keeping a very great amount of information until E3,
which is shocking because this is the company that had the worst track record when it came to keeping secrets.
Yeah, I would have to say they did a very good job, because the fanboys were bullshitting everybody when they said, hey, it's going to have 16 gigs of RAM. Wrong. I made 2 videos about this, saying how the PlayStation 4 does not need 16 gigs of RAM. And clearly Sony agrees with me because they only put 8 gigs of RAM. But we'll get more and more into depth on the specs. So, the question I'm going to ask you, Kevin.
Yes.
Were you surprised with anything that you saw?
Somewhat. You see, when it comes to I would say I'm surprised with the architecture they're using, the x86. The fact that it's pretty much a PC is what the PS4 is.
Yes.
That kind of surprised me. I thought it was interesting that they're using 8 gigs of RAM instead of the rumored 16. Even then, at first I thought it was kind of going overboard using just 8.
Yes.
Because it's like, really games only very few games actually use even a gig of RAM. And then, of course, they had the announcement of their social network thing that they're doing. So I could see a lot of that, a lot of the RAM going towards the streaming.
Of course.
And such. So, yeah, there were some things that did surprise me, such as but there was stuff that didn't surprise me, such as the announcement of games.
Huh.
Specifically, Killzone and Infamous. It's it was sort of a given that a lot of their franchises from the PS3 were going to come onto the PS4.
No, but fuck PS2. We're Sony. We're not going to bring any of them back.
Yeah.
Or we're going to wait until the last fucking year of the PS3 and release Sly Cooper.
Like, I'll give him credit. Knack looks interesting.
It honestly looked like Astro Boy. I'm serious. If you've ever seen the Astro Boy movie that came out a few years ago, it
Yeah,
looked just like it, down to the style that they chose to use for the characters.
never thought about that. I
Uh,
always thought it looked more like a Pixar movie.
it was trying, but it definitely took a lot of cues from Astro Boy.
Yeah, Knack looks interesting, but like I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really excited for the new Killzone or Infamous or uh, what was it, Drive Club?
Yeah, Drive Club I thought was retarded. I don't know
Yeah,
why people were like ooh and ah. It's like why the fuck do I want my own little
I
virtual
swear
street
the
gang?
I swear the guy who was doing talking about that game, I swear he was like jerking off
He's
while
like, oh,
talking about
oh
it.
yes, oh,
Because
only now I can make this.
just the way he's talking about them, about the games, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, he was definitely a little sexually aroused.
Yeah. Um, of course, I thought it was hilarious when the guy came out for Infamous Second Son.
Dude, he came out fucking hard.
That was the most overdramatic intro for any game
He
I've
did,
ever
no, no, no.
seen.
What was like the first fucking sentence out of his mouth was like, everywhere you go, you're being watched. Shit just blows up. People want to kill you. I was like, whoa, easy, buddy.
It's like in
Easy.
1999, I partook in what was it, a peace rally or some crap like that,
Yeah, I was like,
and and we were shit. What did he say or
I have
something?
no idea, but I'm
We were
telling you.
attacked by the police, and I thought the police were supposed to protect us. And I'm like,
I was like, shit.
wow, somebody forgot to put on their tinfoil hat.
No, somebody was definitely high when they did the presentation, but I'm
Actually,
telling
I'm
you,
not
like,
sure. Is that one of the designers, or was
I
that
have
just some
no,
actor they
I
paid?
have no idea, but I'm telling you, like, when he came out and saying this, I was like, holy shit, like, what the fuck? Is he at the right press conference? It's just like,
It's a good point.
I thought this guy was going for TSA. I was like, holy shit. No, he came off very hardcore. Like, it was just like,
Very
terrorists are everywhere.
pretentious,
It's
I
like,
would say.
shit, man, chill.
What else was there? There was
Yeah, that was Watchdog.
Watch Dogs, yes,
Yeah.
coming to the PS4, and also announced for the Wii U.
During a Sony event, which is very
Yeah. Oh
hysterical.
no, they announced it after.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, well. I was wrong.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. Um, Controller design.
Ah, I don't like the controller design. I'm gonna be honest. It looks
It's
like
the
a
same
third
old
party,
shit.
It looks like a third-party PS3 controller. It looks like some shit you would see made by like Mad Cats or something like that.
Or Intech.
Exactly.
Mad Catz actually had quality in compared to Intech.
I
Intech, the
don't
fucking
like
sticks
the-
would break.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the DualShock 4,
I think they'll change it up a bit. I don't think that's a final
especially
design.
the analog sticks. They just look very weird.
Yes, they do.
I mean, just wow.
And look, we put light bulbs in it. Yay!
Which, yeah, they're getting rid of the four LED lights, and they're now every controller is going to be color based.
But what if you're colorblind?
Good point. Or like okay, like it used to be okay. Who's player one? Who's player two?
Oh yeah,
Now it's gonna be
who has the green controller? I do. I
who's
do.
player
That's blue.
Who's player
That's
green?
fucking blue, man. That's not green. Grab the green controller.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Which one is it?
I don't know which
you know,
color
I'm thinking-
controller I'm at.
You know what I'm thinking of doing? I'm thinking of making a YouTube video that's in black and white, and just shows a guy, like have the game say, find the green controller, and just see the guy like just looking at all four controllers on the table, like trying to figure out which one it is.
Oh man. Now, what got me about the PlayStation 4 was that they, unfortunately, and this kind of pisses me off about it, is that it's not going to be backwards compatible with the PS3.
Figures. Sony doesn't give a shit.
But what they were saying was that you're going to be able to stream PS1, 2, and 3 games through the system.
They're basically pulling a live, what was it? live stream, or what the hell was that called? That stupid thing that never took off. The one where you pay a subscription and you get this little
Oh
rinky-dink
shit!
box. I forget what it was called.
Game Tap?
No.
No.
No, GameTap wasn't running in a browser. You actually downloaded it. What the fuck was it? It was called Live Play or Play Live or something like that.
No, I don't know about that.
It's that little fucking box that came out like 2 years ago. The one where...
you mean On Live.
On Live. See, I told you. I was like Play Live, On Live, whatever the fuck. Well, you see, clearly they didn't catch on because I forgot what the fuck it was called. They're basically doing shit like that where they're going to have your games basically running on servers rather than the box that you paid a lot of money for.
But what I don't get is like, okay, why not have, I understand it's not using the cell processor, but still, why not have it, why not have the cell processor be emulated on the processor they're using?
Good luck with that.
Is it that difficult?
The problem is the cell processor is one of the most complicated pieces of shit that's ever been conceived. Yeah, it had a lot of potential, but it was the most complicated thing in the world. It really is. So, considering how are you going to emulate one of the most complicated chips ever created? And complex does not mean power. Just to put it out there. Simplicity
I saw that
is
comment.
better.
The comments you were going back and forth with.
Yeah, some guy was telling me that the cell processor currently has the world record for the fastest processor. I'm like, you're full of shit, man. I'm serious. Like the i7 in my tablet spanks the cell processor.
That's funny.
Oh my god, this 7-year-old processor is so good. No, it's not, guys. Move on. We've advanced from that point. But, I mean, I honestly don't understand why companies choose to use AMD parts for their consoles.
I don't know.
They're cheap shit. That's really why they use them. It's junk. And people are like, oh, it's an 8-core processor. Not exactly. The processor they're using is actually a quad-core with hyper-threading. They're basically copying how Intel does their processors. Like my i7 isn't a quad-core processor. It's not quad-core, an octo-core. Octo-core. Whatever the fuck. Processor. It's just a quad-core with 8 logical cores. So the operating system and software and everything sees a 8-core processor, and it acts like if it's running on an 8-core. And that's basically how AMD does it. So don't be fooled, people, because AMD does not have an 8-core processor.
Yeah.
They call it 8 cores, but it's not. It's like their A6 processor. Oh, it's got 6 cores. No, it doesn't. It's a tri-core processor with hyper-threading. But yeah. But AMD is shit. And if you look on their site, they're like, look at us. We're special. We're powering the PS4. Wow. Golf clap for you, AMD. You ain't powering my rig. Just put it that way.
What do you think about the PlayStation 4 social features?
I honestly don't give two shits about it.
Yeah, I don't care about it either. It just... Here's the thing, like, am I really going to be sharing, like, am I really going to be live streaming games to other people?
Oh,
do I really want to do that? No.
I don't mind doing it. Here's the issue. Sony's going to claim copyright on everything. So think about it this way. Oh, I'm playing whatever, Clank or Clacked or whatever the fuck that game was called. I'm streaming it or I'm going to upload it to YouTube. Sony's going to put ads and make money off of me playing. So what I'm saying is nothing will ever beat using a PVR.
I never thought about that. Because if I can remember correctly, there was this last generation, live streaming became a huge thing.
Of course.
And all of a sudden, like, there were several companies that were, several publishers that were trying to sue people on Ustream and stuff like that.
Oh, no, Microsoft made it a part of their terms of service now.
Yeah.
If you updated your console, they made it, oh, you agree not to upload gameplay footage. It's like, Microsoft, you agree to be retarded because I have under, copyright law, I have the God-given right
Do
to,
whatever you want.
yes. If I'm playing a game and I'm putting a commentary over it or I'm, doing a video review, I have every right to use the content.
Exactly. But
Fuck you, Microsoft, if you think you can take that away from us. You can't. Legally, you're in the wrong. We're in the right. So deal with it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony made it where every time you upload it, YouTube is giving them the money, not you. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. So now, I have to say, the guy who first showed off the controller and everything and showing off the architecture, I think he's a child predator. Just, I'm serious. The vibe I got out of him when he came on there, he looked like he just sucked someone's cock, and he just went out on the stage is like, "Hey guys,
come on, children. Here's some
what
candy.
I
Now go
found
into my
was
white
that
van."
when my meat grows, I just have the violent urge to fuck things. It's
Oh my god.
no, I'm serious. You can't say without a doubt that he didn't look a tad bit creepy.
Somewhat.
I felt that if I was in that room, he would rape me.
Oh boy.
No, he was creepy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm calling out people here. If that guy was creepy, write a comment below saying, yes, that guy was creepy. Okay? And if someone already has a comment there, thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you don't agree. There we go. Now you may vote no. No, I thought, yeah, he was kind of really, really creepy. But Sony did not show off the system.
No, they didn't. Actually, they've done this before.
When?
They did this with the PS3 where they showed off the controller at E3 2005, and they didn't show off the system until I think Tokyo Game Show.
Oh.
So yeah, they've done this
I don't
before,
remember.
but did it work for the PS3? No.
One thing I do like is that they spent less time on tech demos. You remember PlayStation? No.
Somewhat.
Look,
I mean, yeah, they
look
did
at
start off
PlayStation
announcing
3.
games. They announced the new Killzone, new
Yes.
Infamous, all that kind of stuff. But
No,
towards the end, it started getting into tech demo.
No, we'll
territory.
compare the PlayStation 3's launch to the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 3, they spent like 95% of the time with fucking tech demos. We lots and lots of duckies. Look, I can put hundreds of ducks in the pool.
Yeah, but what they showed was like you had David Cage come
a
out and he showed
dumbass.
off his creepy old man head tech demo, which, by the way, that's bullshit. There's no way in
course.
fucking hell the PS3 is doing that. PS4, sorry.
PS4, PS3, it's all the same shit.
I mean, like they've done this before. Like, remember with the PS3 they showed off the head of that actor,
Yes, the guy, Dr. Octopus.
the guy who played Doctor Octopus. Yeah,
He was also in Indiana Jones in the opening scene.
yeah. They showed off
His head got chopped up.
in like for as one of the tech demos for the PS3,
Okay.
and it turned out like that was complete bullshit. So
I mean, I wouldn't look. I'm not going to say that wasn't running on a PS3, but to expect games to have that kind
do
of
that.
level of detail, I think was a very false assumption.
yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the one problem with tech demos is that they don't really show off what the consoles can do.
Well, they
No,
do.
they mean what you could do in a video game.
Well, they do, but they're not real world things.
Yeah.
Now,
Like, you're not gonna be able
speaking
to-
of tech demos, I am working on a YouTube video which will come out soon. I ran all the latest tech demos that are available on PC on my GTX 680. And I'm telling you, the level of fucking detail that these tech demos offered still prove that the PlayStation 4 is out of date.
Yep.
That David Cage's fucking head demo shit, I was running a head demo on my GTX 680. The there's a lot of shit, and I will show it off because I mean the graphics are amazing on some of these tech demos I was running. But I'm proving a point that what you're going to see on the PlayStation 4 and next generation Xbox, we've had on PCs for a very long time. Some of the demos that I'm going to be showing in the YouTube video were released back in 2007. Now,
Really?
if you can think about that, demos that released back then that still looked better than any PlayStation 3 game that came out and looks about on par of what the PlayStation 4 is. And you're talking about a good 5-6 years between them.
Okay.
So, that video will be coming out. Definitely look out for it.
Now, speaking of David Cage,
Okay.
do you now see why I can't stand the guy?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to hit him. Like,
Exactly.
I was bored to
Exactly.
fucking tears.
The guy goes on stage and he starts talking about how now with the PlayStation 4 he can finally make emotional video games. Now we've reached the graphical limit point where we can start making emotional video games. As if all video games that have come out before the PlayStation 4 are not emotional.
Hey, Dead Space 3 is emotional. Dead Space 1 is emotional. You actually feel bad for people who die.
Because he doesn't understand it. Graphics do not make an emotional video game or make a good video game. A well-written story and well-written characters is what makes a good video game. And good gameplay.
Yes.
That is what makes a good video game.
And I'm going to say Heavy Rain was the most boring piece of shit I've ever played.
That's just boring. It was pretentious as fuck. Oh, God. I just...
David Cage should not be a fucking video game maker.
I swear to God, the guy's a film school reject.
Yeah, I think so.
I swear to God, he was like, he applied for film school and then was kicked out and he's like, I'm going to make some video games. And then...
Look at the head.
Then he makes Omnicron the Nomad Soul. So... boy. And actually, I showed you this... remember that photo I showed you?
Yes.
Yeah, there's an interesting picture that someone posted on the Destructoid comments, and I downloaded it. And what it is, it's a letter to David Cage. And let me just bring it
read
up
it.
here. Maybe you could post it up on the video?
Maybe, maybe not.
But anyway, it says, Dear David Cage, you don't need 30,000 polycount faces or the latest shaders to show emotion. It has a picture of the creepy old man head. And on the bottom of it, it has a picture of Lee Everett from The Walking Dead. And it says, Lee Everett, 4,688 for the whole body. All you need is a loving hand and a true understanding of how we see emotion in characters.
Yep.
And it's absolutely true. You can have the most gorgeous graphics in a video game, but if it has a shitty story and it has horrible characters, it's not going to be good.
That's true.
It's not going to be emotional. For example, I mean, let's compare two video games from one franchise. Okay? Which one had the better graphics? Final Fantasy 13 or Final Fantasy 7?
13.
Okay. But which one was the more well-written story?
I honestly can't say because I never beat Final Fantasy 7.
Okay, then how about Final Fantasy 9?
Yes, Final Fantasy 9 had a better story.
Okay.
But here we go. Final Fantasy 13-2, I would say, is really good. Maybe not as good as 9, but definitely the music's more emotional. The story is much better. The gameplay is much better. So yeah, I do like Final Fantasy 13 too.
So, but that's why I just can't stand him. I can't stand David Cage because he has no understanding of
No,
how
he just
to write
focuses on the wrong shit.
story. Yeah.
He honestly does. Like, look at the graphics, wow! Instead of saying, hey, look, here's a fun game that you can enjoy.
Yeah.
He just wants to be like, oh, now we can make things more emotional. It's like, last time I checked, I don't play video games to be emotional. I play video games to have fun.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying that a video game can't be emotional, but the thing is, we have to stop with this like over focus on story. Because
Yeah.
not every video game needs a fucking story.
I mean, Mario doesn't need a story. Sonic doesn't need a story. But something like Final Fantasy
Yes,
and
I'm not saying, but it's just that
yeah,
unfortunately, video games have gone down that deep, dark road where, everything has to focus on story, even if it's not even needed. You look at like Need for Speed, right? They
yeah.
put fucking story in these games. And the thing is, no one
Really?
gives a fuck. Someone just wants to hit the accelerator on the controller and have fun.
Well,
But
why can't it
no,
just be a
this
simple
guy
story?
stole your girl, dog. Yo, you need to sneak that shit, get a pink slip, buy a car, upgrade that shit, and beat your nemesis, bro.
And why can't it just be like a simple story? Like, for example, like Double Dragon.
Okay.
It's simple. It opens up. You have this one girl sit outside of her apartment. Bunch of guys come up to her, punch her in the stomach, put her over their shoulder, then walk away, and then game starts. And you have to go and chase their ass and try to get your girlfriend.
No, but in video
Simple.
game world 2.0 or next gen, you have to watch a 30-minute cutscene that you can't skip until you can start playing.
Story should only be emphasized if it's an RPG.
Exactly.
That's it. Like
If it's a
an
fucking
RPG or-
platformer, yeah, you can kind of have a story, but I honestly don't care.
but it should be short and simple.
Yes, to the
It
point.
shouldn't be this like just overcomplicated Metal Gear Solid esque clusterfuck of a story.
Hey, don't get me wrong, I like Metal Gear Solid.
I know, but I mean, come on. The story of that does get a little cluster.
Oh, sure it does, but, as I said, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a perfect example of when you put too much focus in the wrong area.
You know what's a perfect example of story in video game?
What?
Half-Life.
Yeah, because
Actually,
you
any
never
game
have a
made-
cutscene.
Actually, pretty much any game made by Valve.
Because you are in the story.
Yeah, like there's no cutscenes in Half-Life.
Honestly, someone could be
It's
talking about, like, the most important shit in the world. You can be off shooting at a brick wall if you want. Like, you don't have to pay attention.
Yeah. But yeah. So so Capcom came out also and they showed off their new game called Deep Down, which looks like a Western RPG directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Huh.
Because the characters have like this ultra realistic look to them. Like that's what it looks
Is
like.
that the one where the campfire?
Yeah, that's the one with the dragon.
Yeah, that I honestly don't want to play that.
Yeah.
We're heading down that uncanny valley really damn fast.
Yep.
When things start looking photorealistic, it kind of loses its touch.
And of course, you also saw another game designer that I cannot stand, Yoshinori Ono, who introduced that
Introduce what?
Deep Down.
Oh.
I
Well,
can't-
honestly, I lost all attention span at that point.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't stand Yoshinori Ono. I just think he's obnoxious.
Huh.
Like he wants to be. You can get I just get the feeling like he wants to be on the same level as like Shigeru Miyamoto and Hironobu Sakaguchi, and of course, I'm blanking out now. What's his name? Keiji Inafune.
Hmm.
Like you just get the feeling like he wants to be like them, and he wants to be every game designer and game publication and gamer's friend, and it's just like. Plus
Yeah.
that, and he's fucked over the Street Fighter series.
Yep.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people like Street Fighter 4, but come on, he fucked it up. Okay, I mean the fact that in order to do the ultra moves, you have to get your ass kicked. Yeah, he fucked it up. So
Here, you get to win by losing.
pretty much. See, looking down, Media Molecule also came out and they talked about what about the PlayStation 4 and all that kind of stuff. And then they also showed off what can be only described as Wii Music 2 Electric Boogaloo.
If I had $1 for every fucking time you said 2 Electric Boogaloo, I'd be one rich motherfucker.
It looks like Wii Music. The thing with the puppets and they're playing the music?
Woo!
I mean, come on.
I still don't give a shit 2.0.
Exactly.
All
And
I
I
have to
love
say,
it.
look, I hate the whole play, create, share shit. Like, Sony is like all big on this. That's what Media
Yeah,
Molecule is. It's like, we're all the part of the play, create, share thing. And it's like, look, why should we be doing your job?
exactly.
I don't mind that, oh yeah, people can create stuff, but when you start out with a new game and you start talking about how you get to build your own environments, build your game, it's like, no, how about you code, build the fucking game, complete the fucking game, and then sell it to us? I honestly hate play, share, create. I really
Yeah.
think it's a dumb
No, this
idea,
is
and I want
like
nothing
you
to do
said,
with it.
they're expecting the player to finish the developer's job.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Look at why Mod Nation Racers didn't succeed.
Exactly.
It was, instead of focusing on how the fucking cart steered and, controlled and, all that stuff, they worried more on, ooh, here's your tools so you can build your own tracks.
I also love how Media Molecule's also focusing on the move, as if the move is still relevant.
It's not.
And it was a huge success. No, sorry, Media Molecule, but it was not a huge
Hey,
success.
I bought it, I think it was the week it came out. I returned it 2 months later. I sold it right before they dropped the price on it.
Okay.
I think it was a
Um,
piece of shit.
all right, moving on. Square Enix also came up on stage. They showed off the trailer, the tech demo for their new engine,
Uh huh.
which I was telling you about. The thing, however, is that this tech demo is nothing new. They showed this at E3 last year.
Running on a PlayStation 3?
Yeah, or something. I don't know what they were running it on, but they were just like they showed off this tech demo for their latest game engine.
Huh.
So it was just like it was just a rehash, and then they literally trolled everyone by making an announcement by announcing an announcement for an announcement at E3.
Huh?
Yeah, they came out the I'm not sure if he was the president or of the company, but he came out and he said, "We also have a Final Fantasy game that's in the development, but you're gonna have to wait until E3 to see that."
So how the fuck is that an announcement of an announcement of an announcement? It's only an announcement of an announcement. You said 3 announcements.
God. Well, he came out. He announced the announcement of an announcement.
Oh, so you're saying he announced an announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, I should have worded it better, but
Let's just say they came on stage and they said, hey guys, fuck
we
you
have
all. We ain't going to tell you
we
shit
have
right
Final
now,
Fantasy.
but take
They're
a
like,
look at E3.
they're like, "Hey everyone, guess what? There's Final Fantasy coming to the PlayStation 4, but you're gonna have to wait till E3."
It's kind of like Nintendo. We
And
are
then he just walks
we
off.
are going to release a new Mario title, but we ain't going to show you shit.
At least they showed Wind Waker HD.
They didn't even show it running. They just showed stills.
Yeah, true. Um, but yeah, also then you had Blizzard came out and they announced Diablo 3, a game that has been out for, gee, I don't know, a fucking year
Yep.
already on PC. So, ooh,
Hey, Sony, welcome to a year ago.
exactly.
Or as I'll say, the PlayStation 4. Welcome to 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
Actually, you know what? It would have been funny if they were like, we are making an announcement that World of Warcraft is coming to the PlayStation 4. That would have been funny because it's like, really? Is World of Warcraft still relevant?
Nah, not much lately.
Nah. But yeah, and they announced that, and it's like, I don't care.
No, they'll be
Does
like,
anyone care?
we're going to be releasing the original StarCraft only on PlayStation 4. Welcome to
Now,
1996.
if it was a remake of the original StarCraft,
Called StarCraft 2.
well, StarCraft 2 is not a remake.
I'm not saying it's a remake, but if they did, that's how it would look.
True.
All I could say is Sony. I don't know. It felt
announced,
like a PlayStation 3 announcement.
they announced Watch Dogs is coming to PlayStation 4.
We already said that.
Yeah. Bungie came out and announced Destiny is coming out for the PlayStation 4.
Don't care.
Again, yeah, I don't care either. I'm trying to think. They also showed off a huge list of third parties that are developing for the PlayStation 4. Or in other words, it's just a list of developers that got development kits.
Huh? Doesn't it sound a little familiar?
Yeah. Actually, what I thought was funny was that like they showed off a trailer of developers talking about how great the PlayStation 4 is and how they can't wait to develop for it. Oh yes, because that worked for the Wii U announcement.
Haha.
Remember?
Yeah, hold on a second.
You
I'm
had-
actually going to play the segment of the developers when they're making the announcement. I'm going to play it. Ready?
Okay.
You won't hear this, but everyone else will.
Once we saw the new console together with the new controller, my mind immediately started racing to what we can do with this in the world of sports.
And there was total shock and amazement, from the team.
I call it the Swiss Army knife of controllers. It does absolutely everything you could want.
This new controller really revolutionizes the traditional pad.
Connectivity, advanced graphic, an engaging interface.
The ability to have asymmetrical gameplay. So one player can be doing one thing while another player can be doing something else on the TV.
友達の対戦やってるのを阻害せず、隣の友達が別の画面を持って楽しむこともできるし。
A full console experience that's getting streamed. I have a little headphone. My wife will be asleep, and I, put in headphones and play a full hardcore console gaming experience in bed on this, on this smaller screen. That's a really revolutionary thing for me as a gamer.
But it also means we can make games of a sort that we were never able to make before.
It's a phenomenal piece of technology. It's a platform I think that's going to really revolutionize what's happening in console.
We're planning on putting Darksiders 2 on the new console at launch.
鉄拳16年の歴史の中で、実は任天堂さん据え置き機では初となる鉄拳になります。
Batman Arkham City. It's gonna be on the new console.
In Assassin's Creed, you can just imagine what the multiplayer will look like with multiple screens. And our Ghost Recon Online will leverage the fantastic connectivity of the new controller.
They really know how to keep us developers on our toes.
It seems like Nintendo sort of heard the voices of the hardcore gamer.
We couldn't be more excited to be able to bring the power of EA Sports to Nintendo's new console.
It's not just more of the same. It really is opening up a whole new world of gameplay.
This is exactly what it takes to shape the future.
Now, let's play what they did for Sony.
Yay!
Our industry the past 10 years has seen so many trends come and go. There's been, at times people are, you have to do social, you have to do casual, you have to do hardcore, you have to do this, you have to do that. But as much as it's been changing, all of those different...
They made it so fucking quiet.
Each other. What I love about this console is that I think it's the first time that these trends are going to really be brought together.
And the video does not play. Fuck that shit. All I have to say is everyone that was part of that Wii U developer thing, the interviews, they're all liars.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to bring the power of EA Sports to Nintendo platform. But the very first game that we released doesn't even have the same fucking engine that the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions had.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm going to say, look, developers half-assed their games or ports that they brought over to the Wii U. And perfect example of this is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Why? Because it ran okay at launch. They release an update that fucks everything up, where you're having constant lag and frame rate drops. Then they release another update, and this is like, actually, this update was released like a few days ago, that fixes everything. So now it's running silky smooth. There's no lag anymore, and all these like major issues that people are experiencing are no longer happening. So now, is it Nintendo's fault or the developer's fault?
You decide.
You decide. But you know, honestly, it's a circle jerk of idiots that, you know, try to tell consumers what they want to hear and then fuck them over later.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're all about broken promises.
Now, when it comes to the PlayStation 4, there's some good news and there's bad news. Good news is the PlayStation 4 won't block used games.
Yay!
The bad news, however, is
Boo!
your PSN purchases will not carry over to the PS4.
I honestly don't care because I never purchased anything.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Yay!
like, if someone else had purchased the game on the PSN, they're not going to be able to transfer it to the PlayStation 4 because Sony is a... Yeah.
Which is why digital distribution does not work.
Exactly. So yeah, and then they announced that the PlayStation 4 is coming out holiday 2013.
Yay!
So, yeah, that was pretty much the press conference. So
no system, no price.
Yep, no system, no price, which is good. I think they kind of learned their lesson after the whole PS3 E3 2006 debacle.
Uh-huh.
Where they announced, was it E3 or was it 06 or 05?
I believe it was 06.
Okay, it was 06 then. Where they announced
Dracer!
$509 US, $509 US, $509 US, giant enemy crab. Attack its weak point.
We are going to show you a game that is based off of real Japanese history. Giant enemy crabs.
Attack its weak point for massive damage. Now look at all the little duckies.
Lots and lots of duckies. Look, it's a little lonely, so we need to put some more duckies. Look, more and more, and they just spill over the top of the tub.
So if you were to grade Sony in their press conference, what would you give them?
Meh.
Meh.
I'm not impressed by any of it. As I'm saying, you know, this is coming from a PC gamer who has seen what video games are capable of being. You know, I mean, yes, it's a leap from a PlayStation 3, no shit. You know, you're going from 6-year-old or 7-year-old hardware to something that's a little bit more modern, but you know, it's like been there, done that. You know, there's nothing new that the PlayStation 4 offers that I haven't already seen on my gaming rig.
Yeah. Personally, I think there's two things that Sony really needs to do. Okay. First off, they need to focus more on games. And I mean, yeah, I know they announce games like, you know, the new Killzone, Infamous, all kind of stuff, but let's be honest here. Games like Killzone and Infamous are not system sellers. They're not, you know, killer apps. They're not the games that people look at and, you know, that the regular consumer looks at and says, that looks awesome, I need to buy that. I need to buy the PlayStation 4 for that.
Neither was it Resistance. Resistance
Exactly.
was cool back in the day, but no one gives a shit about it.
Exactly. They're not system sellers. They're not killer apps. I think that's what the problem. Well, I think that was one of the problems with the PS3 was it didn't have any killer apps.
And for anyone out there to challenge us and say we don't know what we are talking about, it was a running fucking joke for the first like 2 or 3 years of the PlayStation
PS3
3.
has no games.
Look, when Blu-ray movies make your top 10 games list, You have
Are you
a
talking
problem.
About, Screw Attack when they did their
Yes.
top 10
Yes.
PS3 games list.
Number 10, nothing.
Nothing.
Number 9, nothing. Number 8, Superman on Blu-ray.
2, Director's Cut. It was pretty bad. But like I said, like the PlayStation 3, it didn't have any killer apps. It didn't have any games that people, looked at and said, that looks awesome. I need to buy that. I need to buy PS3 to buy that game. I mean, yeah, Resistance was good, but it wasn't like an amazing game.
Yeah. Well, now the other lesson Sony needs to learn and make is price.
Yeah, and personally, I think that if they, going back to what I was saying, but personally, I think that what they need to do is they need to look at the PS1, the PS2, and see why those consoles sold so well.
It's because it had a new media format. That's why. Let's make Blu-ray too.
It's because the games on there were much more much more fun to play than the games that are on the PS3.
True.
I mean, John, what was one of the games on the PS2 that instantly got your attention?
You want me to start naming shit?
Well, just like the first game that you
Jak and Daxter immediately sold me on a PlayStation 2.
Exactly. You know what sold me on the PlayStation 1?
Your mom.
Oh my god. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped and Spyro 2. My godparents, who you know, they had a PlayStation 1. And they had those two games, and I played the shit out of those games when I was at their house. And those two games were the reason why I bought a PlayStation 1 in the first place.
Cool.
And the same thing with you. I mean, the reason why, like you said, the reason why you bought a PlayStation 2 was because of Jak and Daxter.
Yep.
And I think that those are the games that Sony needs to look at. If they want this system to be successful, they need to look at the PS1.
They need games like Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction.
Exactly.
That's what a next-gen title should have been.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting with the PlayStation 3.
You were expecting a next-gen
I was expecting more of what we saw from PlayStation 2, but bigger, better games because of bigger, better hardware.
Also, look at Sony during the PS2 era, and if you notice, they didn't really emphasize media. Or they didn't emphasize.
No one really did either. I mean, they announced. I mean, look, they emphasized the fact that you could play movies, which was a big fucking selling point.
Yeah, they were, but their whole attitude was like, yeah, the PS2 can play DVD movies, but look at the games. They focused more on the games and less on it's a all-purpose media player. They weren't like that with the PS2.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, I used the PlayStation 3 back in the day. I used it, as an all-purpose media streaming / playing device. But now I basically built my own with a PC. But getting onto media and mediums, you know how someone said that, well, this is going to be the first console from Sony that doesn't have a new media or medium. And I think that's actually incorrect. I think there is a new medium. And people have completely overlooked this. What is a medium, Kevin? Do you know what that means, medium?
It's a how do I correctly
right, a medium
define?
A medium is a way in which you deliver content.
That's a good way.
So you see a cartridge is a medium. A hard drive is a medium. A flash drive is a medium. A CD, DVD, Blu-ray disc is a medium. But there's a new medium that has exploded since the PlayStation 3 came out.
Digital download?
The internet.
The internet. Yeah. That's pretty much
They announced a new medium at this console press conference. And people completely forgot about it.
Because they're thinking physical medium.
Nope. It's not going to be a physical medium. It's the fact that you could stream your game, like you purchase, and within a minute or two, you could start playing it while it's still downloading. That is Sony's new medium.
Yeah.
It is. It's a selling point, and people already started saying it's a selling point. Okay, one of my biggest pet peeves was, it would take me less time to drive to a GameStop and buy a game than it would to download the game on PSN. But if I could basically be sick in bed, decide, oh, that looks like a great game, and then within minutes be playing, that's a selling point.
Yeah. The second thing I think Sony needs to focus on is, of course, price.
Yes.
Because this is something like they can easily fuck up.
No, like, Sony fuck up prices?
No, because...
What would give you that idea?
The reason why I'm saying that is because, like, if they... Honestly, a system like this, I think it needs to be priced around $300. Or $320,
I think if
$350.
Sony really, really, really wants to come into this market very fucking strong, they have to be pricing themselves, target a $300 price point.
Exactly.
Because
if they want to be competitive, if they want the PS4 to be the as popular as the PS1 and PS2, they need to lower the price.
It has to start out $300, and if they do, it will pressure Nintendo in a very bad way. Like
they can't release a console at like $600.
Yes,
because it's not. It's gonna
look at it this way: if Sony releases a console at $300, Nintendo will be forced to do a price drop.
Yeah,
because Sony could say, "Look, it's the same price as our competitor, but we offer more."
But if the PlayStation 4 is priced above $350, if it's priced at $400, then the system is
a very tough sell.
It's dead on arrival.
Yes,
that's what it is. If they price this more than $400, it's dead on arrival.
And it better fucking include an HDMI cable. None of this like standard video shit.
I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna include HDMI. You can't. They can't be that stupid.
They're still that stupid with the PlayStation 3.
True, but I mean, like,
the fact that it's 7 years console later and it still doesn't have a fucking HDMI cable.
If you're gonna push an HD console, it better fucking have an HDMI cable
included in the box. Look at Nintendo; they did it right. HDMI was included in the box. Something that Microsoft and Sony still haven't fucking done.
Yeah. So, those are my 2 cents on the whole thing. Any more thoughts?
My thoughts are, it's always going to be the wait and see approach.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where I want to see another, PlayStation 2 era Sony. I'm sick of what Sony has become in these, the past, I would say the past 8 years. It all started with the PSP. And the thing is, I had high hopes for the Vita. I really did. I thought Sony was going to finally get their head out of their ass, and they didn't.
Like
this is another trial,
Yeah. Like I've said in previous episodes, Sony right now, they're going through what I call the Sega... what was it? The Sega effect. Where you release several consoles that were very popular, and then you just start going downhill. And you start thinking you could put out any console with the name on it, and it will sell. And you just keep going downhill and then eventually you're dead.
Yep.
It's named after Sega because the same shit happened with them. They put out the Genesis, becomes one of the best-selling game consoles of the 4th generation. It even at one point outsold the Super Nintendo, and they just it went to their head. They kept on putting out all this different hardware, the Sega CD, the Game Gear, Nomad, 32X, that by the time that they eventually came out with their next-gen console, nobody cared. Everyone had been burned so many times that nobody gave a shit.
Yep, and the Dreamcast was their best system.
And when eventually Sega decided to get their shit together and put together a console that was pretty kick-ass, people still didn't care. People were like, I'm looking forward to... I switched to Sony. I'm looking forward to the PlayStation 2. Or the GameCube or the Xbox.
Yep.
And it bit them in the ass. And that's... in my opinion, I think that's what Sony's going through right now, and they need to get their shit together. If they don't, then they're fucked.
I mean...
They wait till the last minute like Sony did, like Sega did, they're fucked.
I mean, you look at it this way, the PlayStation Vita, I've owned it for more than a year now.
Right, it's been a year.
Yeah, well, I got it a week before its release because it was the first edition. And honestly, I rarely ever play the thing. I rarely ever do. I just think it was just such a disappointment. You know, having high hopes.
Yeah. So anyway.
So, can't wait till E3. At least we'll see the entire picture of what Sony is going to offer and if they're going to fuck up again or not.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait till E3. And now there's rumors going around of Microsoft announcing a new console, and of course.
Of course they will. I mean, they would be really stupid not to this year.
Unless they still have that 10-year life cycle stuck in their head.
It's impossible to be obsolete.
What games you playing?
The whole point is, when my tablet outperforms the Xbox 360, you know it's time to replace it.
Exactly.
And I'm not talking about an iPad. I'm not talking about, you know, an Android tablet. I'm talking about my Sony Vaio Duo 11 Nigs. It's what do you call it? It has an i7 in it. Intel HD 4000, which, hey, it's not a powerhouse, but it certainly blows away the Xbox 360's GPU.
Cool.
Really does. So, and it is as thin as a cell phone. So it's like, yep, time to upgrade.
So what games you playing right now?
Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. I'm finishing up Dead Space 3. I'm pretty much on the last chapter, I believe. I just haven't had time to play. And I'm starting Crysis 3 tomorrow.
Oh, cool. You got that?
Well, I didn't. Well, let's just say I may have done things I'm not proud of.
What have you done? How dare you?
You are a pirate.
Let's see. Right now, I'm playing Final Fantasy 12. Still loving it.
Cool.
You know, still wondering what the fuck happened with Square.
Okay.
I'm also playing Fire Emblem Awakening, which is pretty kick-ass. I like the fact that they put in a casual mode where if your units die in battle, they can be resurrected, because that was sort of the one thing I never really liked about Fire Emblem. Like, that's why I always thought Shining Force was better than Fire Emblem, because Shining Force, if your characters died in battle, they could be resurrected, whereas in Fire Emblem, if they died in battle, that was it. They could not be used again.
Huh.
So, pretty much, yeah. Also, and I showed you this yesterday, I got 2 Xbox games.
Wow.
Finally, I got Panzer Dragoon Orta, which is fucking awesome. Dude, you gotta play this game. And I got Shenmue 2 for the Xbox.
Which is a game I'm going to have to borrow your Xbox for.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this is it includes the bonus DVD of Shenmue the movie.
Wow.
Which is basically all it is they took cutscenes from the first Shenmue and they just put it together in one movie. Kind of like how, remember the Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence limited edition?
Yes.
Remember how it came with like a bonus disc that had like, where they took all the cutscenes from Metal Gear Solid 3 and they put it into one movie?
Yep.
That's pretty much what this is.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you've watched it.
Yeah, actually I did.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome, so. Yeah.
That about wraps everything up.
I also got that Hyrule Historia book.
I did too.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right, you did too.
Mine is sealed, bitches.
Oh, and I also finally got back a game that I lost several years ago.
No, you didn't. It didn't get lost. It got stolen.
It got stolen. Yes, WarioWare Touched, which was it got stolen along with my copy of Pokemon Fire Red and my original DS.
Shit, you lost your Fire Red? I didn't know that.
Yeah, It got lost. That was the last, very, very last day of high school.
It was graduation day.
Yep.
And someone decides to steal his shit.
Some dipshit decides to go through my backpack and steals my DS, but doesn't steal the games.
Yeah, you had like 6, 7 games in that case too.
Yeah.
They left the case, but they
And
took
there's
the
some pretty good
DS.
games in there. Like I have Metroid Prime Hunters. I have let me get out my DS games. I had Advance War Dual Strike, Asphalt Urban GT, Mario Kart DS, Final Fantasy 3. I mean, I got some pretty good games in here, and yet dipshit only took the console.
He is a lazy ass thief.
Yeah. But yeah, I finally got WarioWare Touched, which is awesome to play that game after like, how long has that been? Like 5 years?
Yeah, like my
Going on
brother
6?
had a copy of the game, but he lost it. Like legitimately lost it.
How long ago? That was like 6 years ago, right?
I guess. I have no
Going
idea.
on 6 years. 2007 when we graduated.
Wow, class of 07.
Which tells our audience how old we are.
I'm 23. Woo!
I'm gonna be 24. Yay!
Wow, same here.
Except I'm a month older than you.
Yeah, and I'm a year maturer than you. Woo!
That's questionable, but
Hey, who has a car?
I don't care.
Boom.
I don't care. That doesn't make
Boom.
me mature.
Boom.
Make me more mature.
Who has a license?
I have a permit.
Boom. Good times.
Yep, good times.
All right, take care, guys. Look out for future episodes. If you want to be on the show, please drop a personal message on YouTube. For those who I've reached out to join us on the show, really would be nice if you guys joined us. You know, the door is wide open. Just walk in, be on the show.
Come on, join the podcast now.
Because this party seems very lonely with only Kevin. See? He's already going delusional.
Go to the podcast now.
I'm going to end it right here because that just sucks.
Let's end this.
Take care, guys.
Have a nice day.
Boom.